get that the next couple of games you will be at home where you have played well?
Definitely. I mean, we love playing at home. We got another division game, so this is important for us to get back in the win column and keep that home field advantage going.
I'm confident that, we're going to respond the right way. I'm absolutely certain in that.
Hey, we're at home. We protect our house.
It's great playing at home. Obviously, we're going to keep that streak going. That's the standard. Protect home field.
We set a great foundation these past couple weeks, and we know it's at stake going forward. So just stand true to ourselves, and then Sundays, let it show.
From AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, home to the NFL's longest winning streak, 11 straight games for the Dallas Cowboys. We welcome you to Cowboys Pregame Live from outside at the AT&T East Plaza. We are live on site as the Dallas Cowboys prepare to take on the New York Giants. Kickoff coming up in just about an hour. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Alongside Barry Church, Isaiah Stanback, Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Yeomans. We've got some Cowboys fans ready to watch this one unfold here in Week 10 of the NFL season. Glad you're with us. Boy, is it a fun atmosphere. Anytime we're out here at AT&T East Plaza, the Cowboys fans certainly bring the fire.
Oh, the fans bring the juice each and every Sunday we're out here, and I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a marquee matchup between two NFC division opponents. I can't wait to see what the fans got, what the players got. I'm excited to be here on a Sunday. What about you, Isaiah?
Hey, man, it's time for some get back. Obviously, last week didn't go the way you wanted, but now you're back home at the crib. You won 11 games straight. Try to make it 12, and the crowd's going to make sure they back you up.
Enough said.
Enough said.
Yes, sir.
That's the thing about Nate Newton. Anytime he's on the big stage, he knows how to present. He knows how to show out for this Cowboys crew. Now, the Cowboys are 3-0 at AT&T Stadium this year. That home field advantage has been seen. 11-1 since the start of the 2022 season. Their last loss came back against Tampa Bay in the opener of last season. Barry, what's been the key for the Cowboys to have so much success in front of this home crowd?
Well, like you said, Kyle, AT&T Stadium is really becoming a big-time home field advantage for the Dallas Cowboys. And I got to give a lot of credit to the fans out here because we all understand when you go for that kickoff, you can feel that energy coming from the stands out there. When it's third down defensively, I'm telling you, this place is like a madhouse. So the fans are getting hyped. The player, as a former player, you feel that energy coming from the fans. You feel it, and it wants you to make you go. You want to go that much harder for the fan base and the organization. I can't wait to see what they have in store.
No, you're absolutely right. As former players sitting up here, we love playing at the home, right? We love playing at the crib, and the reason why is because you got 80 plus 1,000 people in here getting it crunk, turning the thing up, and guess what? When you were in that building, to your point, whether it's kickoff, you make a big play, you make a big hit, whatever it is, you feel the energy from them, and you want to get more.
The thing about it, man, is it's forgiveness here, man. You can make a bad play, but you got your crowd. At any moment, you can gain that momentum. And then that's still going to be the key today for these fans to be geeked up and give the Cowboys the momentum. Remember, this is a healing place. After the 49ers, we healed. After the Eagles, we're going to heal. Thank you, Giants, for coming in.
We've got a long way to go until kickoff. Nate's already making his prediction here on Cowboys Pregame Live, not wasting any time letting it be known. But honestly, that's been the case for the Cowboys. They have absolutely dominated the New York Giants here in recent memory, winning 12 of the last 13 games. Dak Prescott has still never lost to the New York Giants since his rookie season. That is. Barry, what's been the key for the Cowboys to have some success against the Giants over the last couple of years?
Well, it seems like whenever the Cowboys do go against the New York Giants out there, the games that they play are complete. You see offensively, they're balanced out there. Defensively, they're getting after the quarterback and making it hard for whoever's back there for the New York Giants. And then special teams. We always seem to have a big-time play from somebody from special teams when we're going against the Giants. Whether it's a block kick, a huge return from Turpin, whatever the case may be, you see complete games from the Dallas Cowboys, and hopefully we see that this afternoon.
You know what? I think a lot of it comes down to personnel. You think about what this front office has done with this offense, what they've done defensively with Dan Quinn's unit, and then obviously Bones Foster with the addition of Turpin and some of the other pieces like Wanye Thomas adding to this special teams unit. These guys just have better personnel. When you have good personnel with good coaches and great execution, that's the result.
You know, when I look at this team, man, it's all about the matchups, man. Our defensive line against their offensive line, we seem to have the edge there. Our offensive line has been struggling, but right now, I think we have even the edge there. But the only they have is Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence II. Those are the two horses. Get past those, and you can dominate.
Yeah, the quarterback position has certainly dominated against the Giants over the years. Andy Dalton, the only starting quarterback with a loss since the start of 2017. Speaking of quarterback position, let's turn things around and look at what the Giants are putting out there today. Tommy DeVito will be the starting quarterback, only his third pro game. Of course, he's a rookie filling in for the injured Daniel Jones, the injured Tyrod Taylor. They signed Matt Barkley off of the streets as a free agent this past week, but Isaiah, I mean, this is a different quarterback room than what the Cowboys have seen, even when they've been winning against the Giants as of late.
Yeah, very much so. Obviously, they lost their leader, most recently to IR, but DeVito steps into the fold, and unfortunately, he's going against one of the most aggressive defenses in the league. Dallas is second in the league in terms of pressures, and he's going to feel every morsel of that this afternoon.
I mean, when you get off the bus, when they leave the plane, man, Jerry should drop that helicopter off on him, man. Just put pressure on this kid. He's not used to this type of speed. And when Parsons is in his face and doing that little whatever crawl he does, it's going to be ugly.
Yeah, look, you can never underestimate an opponent out there. We all understand that. But with the Giants, they have serious issues when you talk about the quarterback. You're down to your third-string rookie quarterback going against one of the NFL's most dominant defenses out there. I understand he's athletic and he can escape the pocket, and it's been a problem for the Dallas Cowboys going against athletic quarterbacks. But when you're talking about a rookie guy going against one of the NFL's top defenses, it's going to be a tall task for Mr. DeVito this afternoon.
Now that we're out in the plaza and everybody behind us can hear us for the first time, I want to thank Cowboys Nation again for being absolutely bananas behind us. We've got Barry Church, Isaiah Stanback, Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Glad you're with us for Cowboys Pregame Live. Let's talk about a topic everybody behind us wants to hear about, and that's Dak Prescott and what he's brought to the table this season. He's been fantastic for the Cowboys since the bye week. Really over the last 3 games for the Cowboys, he has been on another level. Isaiah, what has made him so successful over these last couple games?
I think he's just getting established in this system. You talk about the Texas Coast, the Texas Toast offense, what Coach Martavis has came in and instilled. He is getting comfortable. He's getting comfortable with his resources, his guys that are around him, the blocking, the protection. Okay, I think he just is getting really comfortable, and he's able to start getting the ball to his main man, CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb has been absolutely going on a tear this past few games, and I think that their utilization of motions, shifts, and condensed sets is starting to help these guys out.
Yeah, without a doubt, Mike McCarthy has making basically Dak's job a lot easier with all these motions and making sure that these defenses don't understand where CeeDee Lamb is at all times. That connection between CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott is on a different level right now. But I will say this, I'm not so sure this brand of football is sustainable when you're going against playoff caliber teams. They'll get away with it today against the Giants, but I would love to see more of a balanced approach. They got to get more out of this ground game, whether it's Pollard, Rico Dowell, whatever the case may be. They've got to get more out of this so they can have a balanced approach when you're going against the more stiffer competition.
But until that time, when we face those playoffs teams, Dak, continue to do what you're doing, man. I like this Mississippi Dak. When he was in college, this is the guy that the Cowboys drafted, and they thought they can enhance the things around him. He's not that guy you can just say, let him throw 45 times a game. Not on average. You may need that sometime, but this Dak that we have now, from game 6, 7, and 8, and 9, has been perfect.
He really has been, and he's somebody that could help lead the Cowboys to where they want to be down the stretch. You can really see that from Dak Prescott over these last couple weeks. Let's hear from Dak this week about really how he's had some success, but also how he's going to have to go up against a different Giants team than what he's seen over the last couple years.
I think we all understand the NFL, understand that those guys prepare, those guys game plan, and to be honest, it's tough to beat a team twice. So whether the way that you did it in the first way or not, understanding that they've got the same tape for them to try to make corrections, you have to understand that was game one. That they have changed some things since then. They found pieces that they want to play in different ways that they want to play their defense for us, and I'm sure on their offensive side, no difference. Even having to play different quarterbacks. But I mean, for us, as I've talked about it, it's about us continuing to grow, and for us to get better. And that the only way that does is if we go out there and take care of business in the manner that we expect to.
11 in a row at home. Why do you think you guys have been so successful at AT&T Stadium?
Great environment. Great scheduling by coach, sleeping in our own beds. That's for real. Yeah, I mean, and then, you know what I mean, just showing up to the stadium, feeling the energy, everybody really using that, and then just that's a standard that honestly Coach set when he came in. You know, you win every game at home, and you go and try to win more than half on the road, and that usually puts you in a great position to win the division and make have a great seed. So I mean, that's one, the formula, and two, guys, as I said, that they come in ready to go. That locker room's always jumping, excited, and yeah, it's fun place to play, obviously, when you put the fans in and they're getting going, and we can get up on offense, crowd get going for the defense, allow them to go hunt these quarterbacks.
It doesn't matter what the week is for Dak Prescott. It's a laser focus for QB1 as he gets ready to face the New York Giants here in Week 10. And before we get deeper into this matchup between the Cowboys and Giants, let's go down on the field inside AT&T Stadium, where we are joined by Nick Eatman. Nick, I feel like every time we start this off, I ask about the atmosphere or I ask about the offensive line. This time I'm going to ask about the offensive line first, because there's been some questions on the left side. Tyron Smith, could he be back in the fold? And then on Terence Steele's right side, is he ready for a rebound this week?
Well, I think, I'll start with that part about Terence Steele. I just like the mindset that he always brings to the table. I think the Cowboys figured that out of him when he first got here. You got to remember, this guy made the team as a rookie 2020, started his first game, didn't even play any preseason games. He just had this vibe about him. He's a business-like approach. And, yeah, he knows that he said the right things this week. He knows he's got to play better. He's going to say that if he dominates this week, he's going to say, I got to play better. So, as an offensive lineman, it's really no different than, let's say, a kicker. If you're struggling, you got to put it out of your mind, and you got to have a great game. If you're playing well and you make all your kicks like Brandon Aubrey, you got to put it out of your mind. So he's going to have a fresh slate. And for the left side, I think the fact that we see Austin Richards that's inactive for this game, that kind of goes to show that what they feel like in Tyron Smith, Chuma Edoga, so somewhat healthy, probably as more healthy in this game than they've been in recent weeks.
That's a great sign for the Cowboys offensive line to have everybody up front again. Still trying to build that continuity on the offensive front. One more injury question as we talk about Kevontae Turpin. He was questionable going into the week. Anything of news or notes for Kevontae Turpin? Is the return specialist going to be available?
Sorry, we're not going to see Turpin in this game. He's inactive. But they'll have a new punt returner and a kick returner. Probably Deuce Vaughn is going to be active here, so Deuce Vaughn will handle most of the punt return duties. Also, Rico Dowdle will be your kick returner. So, and as far as the receiver goes, they'll have Jalen Brooks up as well. So it'll be an opportunity to that just kind of goes to show just how valuable Turpin is. You can't duplicate his speed, but when you have three different guys doing different things, that tells you what kind of value that Turpin has brought to this team. The shoulder injury is going to keep him out for this game, but the fact that they tried to go, that makes me think that he should be good to go next week.
With it being a game where the Cowboys are heavily favored, and they have, of course, now Jalen Brooks up, Deuce Vaughn up. Is this an opportunity for the Cowboys to see more out of their young rookies and maybe get some more playing time for the guys who haven't had it so far this season?
Well, I got that Arizona game just lingering right here. Anytime you think about blowouts and who's going to play a lot and things like that. So take care of business first. Do that, and then, if it gets to a situation where they can play in the fourth quarter, fine. Here at home, the Cowboys have not only won games, but they've had some big blowouts, and it's been situations where you could do that. But I think, if I was the Cowboys coaches, I would throw that game out there and say anybody can beat anyone at any time. We've seen it, we've felt it, and make sure and take care of business there. Now Deuce Vaughn has played some in the first half of these games, so it's not like out of the question to get him involved. But as far as what you're talking about and blowing teams out and playing in the fourth quarter, Cowboys got to prove that they can get there.
I like that. Keep the laser focus. It's kind of like what we just heard from Dak Prescott a little bit early on. We'll hear from Nick Eatman down on the sideline later in the show when he is joined by Stephen Jones. But let's hear from Terence Steele. We talked about a rebound performance on the right side of that offensive line after a rough night against Philadelphia last week. Here's what the right tackle had to say in leading up to this matchup with the New York Giants.
Like I said, really just keeping just level head, really just learning, just watching the film, learning from your mistakes, knowing it's harder on myself than myself. So Yeah, no, I mean, can't be too hard on yourself, man. It's a learning experience. Just gotta learn from it.
Anything fundamentals or techniques in that game, or was it just the sort of thing that kind of snowballed as it went along, or what?
No, it was really just came down to me, just my fundamentals and just staying true to it. And I got a little sloppy there at the end. So.
Terence Steele ready for a rebound. So are these Cowboys fans out here at AT&T Stadium in the AT&T East Plaza. These are the real Cowboys fans. If they're out here watching Cowboys pregame live, you know they mean business. And they're going to certainly cheer their Cowboys on to victory. Back here with Barry Church, Isaiah Stanback, and Nate Newton. Nate, I'm going to start with you. You're the legendary offensive lineman. You're the one that's won 3 Super Bowls, been to 6 Pro Bowls. How does this offensive line find a rhythm here in 2023?
You know, just depending on your technique. I mean, they're not going to have that rhythm because Tyron Smith, they're thinking about just not practicing him as much. So we're going to live with that theory. Steele has a little mental problem right now. He has to go back and believe in his technique. All coaches tell you the first thing to confidence is technique. So start working on your techniques, start doing what you have to do, and practice every day that you can, and then you can find some rhythm.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Nate, but I'm going to add a little extra on that. And what I want to see out of this offense is I want to see them run the ball. Give the ball to Tony Pollard. Let him tote that thing. Giving your franchise tag player only 12 carries per game is not going to get the confidence in this offensive line. One thing I know about the big fellas is when they can be up there and roll grade guys on the defensive line, then they will sit back there and they'll pass block all day long.
Yeah, I'm with both of you guys 100%. When you're talking about offensive linemen, making sure they get that aggression out, you got to start that early and often, and that starts with the ground game. But when you talk about last week in that leaky offensive line and Terence Steele, I put that on the coaching staff.
Okay.
Because you have to be, as a head coach, make those in-game adjustments, all right? And if you see one of your guys is out there struggling on an island out there, you got to send some help his way, whether it's a running back chipping, whether it's a tight end chipping. We saw Terence Steele last week struggle against Philadelphia. You can't leave him on an island out there. You got to make those adjustments. I got to put that one on the coaching staff.
So if that's the case, where do you want to see an adjustment in a game like this?
Well, in a game like this, if like Nate said, Thibodeau's going off, you got those guys, Dexter Lawrence going crazy in there, you got to make sure you help them. We all understand not everybody up on that offensive line is going to be Tyron Smith. They're not all going to be Tyler Smith out there, be able to handle their own. Some of these guys need help, and it's up to Mike McCarthy and his coaching staff to make those in-game adjustments if that's happening.
I've never seen a former safety so up in arms about the offensive line. I love it. I love it. He's doing his homework is what's happening. That's what that is. Barry always does his homework.
Yes, sir.
I'm saying that like it's a surprise. I'm really excited to see what this offensive line brings to the table. Like Nate said a moment ago, this feels like a get-right game, but it's not an easy matchup for that offensive line. Thibodeau still can get back there. Dexter Lawrence is one of the best interior defensive linemen in football. This is still a formidable front seven, Isaiah, and if the offensive line's not careful, Dak Prescott will be under pressure.
Yeah, don't get caught sleeping. I mean, I know Dak Prescott did a heck of a job the last few weeks in terms of getting out of the pocket and making some plays happen, whether it be extending plays or whether it be on the design. But the reality is the right side of your offensive line has been struggling. From the center, Zach Martin, and Terence Steele. That entire right side has given up a ton of pressures and has been the reason why Dak has unfortunately had to get out the pocket on some of these plays. The left side, Tyler Smith and Tyron Smith, they're doing a good job. But you have to find a way for all 5 guys to work in continuity and build that confidence so that they can go up against any opponent, including the New York Giants.
The simple thing to do for a coaching staff, Schoonmaker, he's 6'5", 240 pounds, 250 pounds. Give a bump, give a chip, sit down in there and secure the block. When a running back is coming out of the backfield, even going into his pass, just hit someone. When you see a guy that's got a quick escape, just nudge him. Give your chance, give your tackle or your guard or your center a chance to get back on this guy. Just simple things like that. The coaches don't have to tell guys that. Guys should know. If I'm still, like Tua used to tell me when I was going against Lawrence Taylor and all those guys, Leonard Marsh, hey, man, give me a hand. And sometimes all it takes is a hand to go out there to stabilize the guy. So, hey, Schoonmaker, give him a hand. Fergie, give him a hand. Hey, Tony, don't leave out of that backfield until you check to make sure your boy ain't got no quick escape.
You got to find a way to get it done from an entire front for this Dallas team, and they may need some help, like Barry said.
Yes.
Chipping from the tight end standpoint, pass protection from your running back, allow Dak Prescott time to throw, and he'll find a way to pick apart a defense. Now, we've got a lot of fans back here, a lot of Cowboys fans.
Wow.
I see an Army hat here. I see a couple of salute to service jerseys out here. It is Veterans Day weekend. Do we have any veterans in the crowd? If you do, Raise it high. Okay, so got some veterans out there. First off, we want to salute you guys. Everybody who is a serviceman, woman, anybody that has, of course, a tie to our armed forces, we salute you this weekend on Veterans Day weekend. The Cowboys also doing their part in the community with the National Medal of Honor Museum, the opportunity for the offensive line. Same guys blocking up front to go and tour the new site just down the road from where we sit here at AT&T Stadium. Let's take a look.
In honor of the NFL's Salute to Service initiative, the Dallas Cowboys are letting everyone know they want to do more than just honor the bravery the soldiers are showing in their call to duty. They want to make it monumental. The Dallas Cowboys partnered with the National Medal of Honor Museum to bring the one and only Medal of Honor Museum in the nation in the backyard of AT&T Stadium.
We have had the opportunity to be a part of the American dream, and we wouldn't be able to do what we do if it weren't for the men and women who serve, who risk their lives, their family, and give it all to create the democracy that we have so that we all here in America can go pursue our dreams.
Dak Prescott.
The Cowboys welcomed more than 700 students to learn about the Medal of Honor core values and had an open discussion on the importance of exemplifying good character from retired NASA astronaut Chris Cassidy and Medal of Honor recipient himself, Florent Groberg.
It's the hardest thing to do, to have integrity.
These people in these seats are the next generation. Quarterback of the Cowboys in the future may be in these seats. The next guy that's serving our country, you know, they may be in these seats. So just for them to be able to experience this and me to be on that panel with some of those guys and these American heroes, it's special, and I don't take it for granted.
There's no better place to amplify those core values than the museum itself. The Cowboys' offensive line had the pleasure of hearing from Sal Gunta, who received the Medal of Honor.
Some worse than others. We took out our wounded.
And saw the progress the museum has made during their hard hat tour.
Would you see the Ring of Honor, they call it now?
It makes what we do like such a small thing in this world that these guys have done in their lives. They laid it all on the line for their teammates, and they're continuing to tell their teammates stories that may not have made it back.
I think the most important thing are the more than 3,500 recipients of the Medal of Honor, and their names will be in this Ring of Honor right in this beautiful central atrium. And beyond that, in the box above, is where their stories will actually be told. It is the stories of the Medal of Honor recipients. It's really the story of a very common person doing something incredibly uncommon that you and I might not could imagine the type of sacrifice and challenge that it is to do the feats that they do. And it's important for those stories to be remembered and for them to be told and to inspire the next generation of character-driven leaders.
Courage, commitment, integrity, 3 core values a Medal of Honor carries, and the Dallas Cowboys look to bring that to life in 2025.
What an event it was. The National Medal of Honor Museum opening up in just a matter of months outside AT&T Stadium here in Arlington. Salute to Service Week here inside AT&T Stadium in Arlington. And here's the one thing that I don't even know if it's public news yet, but the Dallas Cowboys will be wearing their bicentennial helmets with the red, white, and blue stripe in the middle. Really cool. Of course, you get a chance to see it again. The last time they wore it was against the Indianapolis Colts. That was on Sunday Night Football, and it resulted in a big-time win. So that worked out well for the Cowboys. Of course, salute to service to all of those in our armed forces. Now, let's take a look at our inactive list for the Cowboys today. We already heard from Nick Eatman. No Kevontae Turpin, which does create a bit of a domino effect for the Dallas Cowboys. Trey Lance, your emergency third quarterback. Noah Igbenogany, Awesome Richards, a good sign for the left side of that offensive line. That means both Chuma Edoga and Tyron Smith are available. Viliami Fehoko Jr., we're going to talk about the rookies a little bit later on. He's inactive again off of the edge rusher spot. And then Eric Scott Jr. that you see there as well. Isaiah, I'll start with you because you're our resident special teams extraordinaire. You always say that special teams is more crucial than people make it out to be.
Right.
Without Kevontae Turpin in the fold, how big of a loss is that?
It's a big loss. I mean, he's an all-pro returner. I mean, but the reality is you do have somebody that you may have drafted this year by the name of Deuce Vaughn. So all you guys have been waiting on the Deuce show. He's going to be most likely in position to be able to return some kicks today. Kickoff return, not so much because they moved the mark up, so they'll kick it out the end zone. But in terms of punt returns, I almost guarantee you that he will have opportunity to put on a show today. And just maybe, we'll just hear everybody say, Deuce.
Yeah, that's going to be a big-time loss for the Dallas Cowboys when you talk about Kevontae Turpin out there, because he's like dynamite with the ball in his hand. He always has an opportunity to take it to the house. And when you talk about special teams, it's not always about taking everything back to the house, being a punt returner or a kick returner. Can you get that one extra first down? Can you get a return that's 12 yards so the offense doesn't have to get an extra first down going down the field? So to me, that loss to Kevontae Turpin is going to be huge, but hopefully our guy Deuce can step up in there on the return side and do big things for this Cowboys team.
You know, you never know how good a guy is, how good a player is until he's gone.
Yep.
And he's no longer here. But you know what? I just think a year ago we was asked, can he at least do just a quick screen or something? Now they don't incorporate him to the offense, and he's a big-time player for us. So he's going to be a big loss for us this week.
And you know, I'm interested because we said the Deuce out there, and it wasn't really that loud behind us. I thought it'd be a little bit louder.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Deuce. Deuce Vaughn may have an impact on this game on special teams as a returner, out of the backfield as well. But let's talk about some of those other rookies at the same time. I want to know how we can see more from this rookie class, Barry, because at least this season it's been Mazi Smith, Luke Schoonmaker, and that's about all you've gotten out of the rookie class.
Yeah, when you look at this rookie class overall, you would love to see more out of this class. I mean, overall, they've been pretty much underwhelming. And like you said, the guy with the most playing time or consistent playing time has been Mazi Smith, but he hasn't been able to do much with the time that he has on the field. So I would love to see what these guys can do, but where are you going to get that productivity from? Because Mazi Smith hasn't really shown what he can do as a first-round draft pick. Schoonmaker, he gets in here and there. It's not consistent enough. Isaiah, I don't know about you, but where do you see this production coming from this rookie class?
I really don't see it. I think that this year's draft was more so about depth and adding the just-in-case guys, right? You talk about the Eric Scott Juniors of the world. He hasn't had a chance to be able to step on the field in any regard. You talk about Austin Richards. He's only been called to the line of duty whenever it was an absolute emergency. Right now, obviously, you got Deuce Vaughn. You haven't had any issues in the backfield. You haven't had any issues in terms of the return game. So why would you need those guys to step in and fold? So those guys are sitting back, getting quality reps right now in terms of practice and being able to hear every single play that comes in and have the film study. But ultimately, they just are on standby right now, just in case, guys.
Yeah. That sounds good, but we need more from Maz because we get into the playoffs, teams are going to be more determined to run, and we're going to need some help with Jonathan Hankins and Gallimore. You know, you want to have a three-man rotation so you can start to dominating games, to wear down offensive lines instead of the other way. Then the young fourth-round pick, I'm going to skip over Luke Schoonmaker right now. The fourth pick is
Biliami Fehoko.
Fehoko. Hey, he ain't going to get on the field. That's the only guy I got mercy. We got too many great pass rushers, too many guys that can do his job. But Schoonmaker, brother, you need to be a better blocker so we can start helping getting this run game going. That's what we need from you. We don't need you catching right now. I got Fergie for that. But you know what? I need you to block somebody and to help my boy Steele come back with a little more gusto this week.
I'm going to know what you want to see from Mazi Smith, the first-round pick. What can he do better on that interior defensive line to continue to carve out a role?
Yes, he can. And then this is what amazed me is I heard him at the beginning of training camp say, I'd like to just take guys and ball them up. I'd just like to dominate my man. But get on top of the center and drive him straight back and dominate that man so that these pass rushers can do what they have to do. I believe in what you say, but you got to show me what you can do.
Got to find a way to get it done from a rookie class standpoint. Right now, the 2022 class is outpacing the 2023 class significantly from their rookie season now to this rookie season here in 23. They did add a player off of the free agency list this past week. Martavis Bryant is now a Dallas Cowboy, not a rookie by any stretch of the imagination, but a veteran receiver that, of course, spent some time with the Raiders. He's played in 44 career games, had 17 touchdowns, could potentially be an added piece to this team moving forward. What kind of role do you see Martavis Bryant playing in this offense?
Well, I had the pleasure of playing against Bryant when I was down there in Jacksonville, and this guy, when we're doing a scouting report on, he's always a guy that can take the top off of the defense. Now, that was 5 years ago. Hopefully, he's still got that speed going, but he can take the top off the defense. He kind of had an issue with the drops a little bit as well, so hopefully he's rectified that. But overall, I think he's just a speed guy that's going to be able to open things up for underneath routes such as Cooks going underneath or CeeDee Lamb going underneath. Hopefully, we can get that out of Martavis Bryant.
Yeah, honestly, I don't expect much, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that from a negative sense. I'm just saying that it's been 5 years since he stepped foot in an NFL
No doubt.
game. And then you look at the aspect, his development that he had in the XFL with the Las Vegas Vipers. It wasn't much, right? So I'm hopeful that he can come in and have a little bit of resurgence to some of the things that he did formerly. But as of right now, the expectation has to be low. This has to just be one of those flyers where it's like, hey, if it works out, it works. If not, he's just on our practice squad.
You fellas got to tell me who's going to be injured. Is it going to be Lamb? Is it going to be Cooks? Is it going to be Tolbert? Is it going to be Gallup? I mean, it's no room right now. We don't have enough balls to get to Cook. So, you know what? That is just a flyer right now. So that's how I'm going to look at it.
That might just be because CeeDee Lamb's been catching everything thrown his way. I mean, CeeDee Lamb has been the top target in all of football. If Bryant finds his way into the fold, it's because of necessity, not necessarily because of maybe just maybe a curveball from the offense. That might be the only couple reasons that he's elevated off of that practice squad. But let's hear from the top receiver in football, CeeDee Lamb. He's not just an inside guy, and he'll tell you that. He's not going to only play in the slot.
I'm a slot boy or something, huh? That's what I heard.
didn't say that.
Not you, but I'm just saying that's the narrative right now. But yeah, nah. Besides that, man, I'm comfortable anywhere on the field, outside the numbers, inside the numbers, in the backfield, if you will, to run a route. But whatever the team needs, versatility is also another one of my key components of myself, and I take pride in it. And just line me up anywhere, tell me what I got, and if it's one-on-one, I know who I got to beat.
As you continue this run, do you anticipate more double coverage brackets, more anything like that?
If not, I'm okay with that too.
But that's why they move you around, though, to avoid that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just kind of giving them a different look, seeing what they are, seeing what they're in, being true to their disguise. A lot of teams are doing a great job of playing maze defense, which is man aligned zone ending. Just looking for matchups, exploiting those matchups, and winning on one-on-one.
How much do you pay attention to what the other number one elite wide receivers are doing in the league during the season?
A lot. I'm watching them boys. I love the position, all of them. Steph for sure. I like Jamar a lot. Obviously, you got AJ. Pretty much, once again, all the receivers that are ones, to be honest.
What a run CeeDee Lamb has been on over these last couple of weeks, leading the NFL in receiving yards, and he's done so in just 3 games. He has been unbelievable, 466 yards. He's only the second player in franchise history to have back-to-back games with over 150 receiving yards, and of course he has a chance to do so again today against the New York Giants. I like that Cowboys fan right there. That's some dedication. I like that one. All right. With that being said, CeeDee Lamb shown some dedication of showing versatility. Inside, outside, the slot, the perimeter, it doesn't matter. How tough is that on a defender and a secondary to make adjustments when he can be that versatile?
It's extremely tough. And kudos to Mike McCarthy for understanding what he has at the wide receiver position and making it a priority to get him the football early and often. Because we looked at it last year in that Kellen Moore offense. CeeDee Lamb wasn't able to break the century mark until week 9. But when you look at it as a defender, when you move him around from the X receiver to the Z receiver to the slot receiver, it makes it extremely hard to focus in on where he's going to be at and get a double team on him. It's hard to do that. So he's going to see a lot of single coverage out there, and that's because Mike McCarthy is moving him around against defenses, and they're getting the most out of CeeDee Lamb, their number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, so you guys just saw the stat line right there. CeeDee Lamb is absolutely killing it right now. Better than A.J. Brown, better than Tyreek Hill over these last 3 games. Those guys have 4 games.
Can you say that again?
I'm going to run that back one more time.
Can you say that one more time?
In the last 3 games, CeeDee Lamb has been more effective than A.J. Brown and Tyreek Hill have been in their 4 games. So CeeDee Lamb is doing a heck of a job. You just mentioned Mike McCarthy doing a great job finding a way to get him involved, moving him around, bringing him in motions, making it difficult for defenses to be able to identify him. You can see more of that today as well because the New York Giants play the most man coverage out of any other team in NFL. So these are one-on-one matchups. He'll have a chance to make big plays today.
It's just nice to see a kid, man, coming from Oklahoma, man, and just grow each year, playing and embrace his role. He's embraced that number one receiver, and now he's doing it in every way possible, man. All we got to do is start turning into wins, CeeDee Lamb.
Over, under 150 yards. Go.
I'm going over. I'm going under.
Under.
I think Brandon Cooks gets closer to 150 today.
Oh, Brandon Cooks goes off today.
I'm always going over because I beat the britches off of them. Whatever, 300 yards or 100-yard receivers. Yeah.
Well, since you brought up Brandon Cooks, Isaiah, let's talk about him. Is this the chance for Brandon Cooks to elevate in this Cowboys offense?
It has to be because I've been referring to him, unfortunately, as clear-out Cooks in this offense. And that's pretty much what he's been. He's cleared out things for CeeDee Lamb, and it's the reason why CeeDee Lamb has been able to eat most of the time over these last few games. But you talk about 2 attempts to Brandon Cooks. You talk about him having only 2 touchdowns on the year, 17 receptions, 165 yards on the year. That sounds like a stat line from last week for CeeDee Lamb's one game. That's what Brandon Cooks stats for an entire year right so far. So this is somebody who's used to having 1,000-yard receiving seasons. You have to find a way to get him more involved.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that, Isaiah. They got to figure out how to get Cooks the football. All right, this is a guy who's had 6 straight 1,000-yard seasons, no matter who's at the quarterback position. He's Mr. Consistency for a reason. Right now, like you call him, clear out Cooks, he's more than that, all right? He's got to be able to get the football. He can get that yak yardage when teams are double-teaming CeeDee Lamb. We've got to figure out a way to get Cooks involved and Gallup as well. This offense is more than a one-trick pony, and hopefully we'll see it today against the Giants.
I'm with you, man, because as we play better teams, they're gonna take CD away. Eventually, someone is gonna find the key to taking CD away, and we gotta have Cooks confident in cooking, and we gotta have Michael Gallup a little bit more consistent so we can be a complete team. I'm with you 100% there, Church.
And when I say clear out Cooks, I don't mean that he has inability to be able to run routes. I still think he's the best route runner on this team. I think CeeDee Lamb's the best player or the best receiver, but I think Brandon Cooks is still the best route runner. But the reality is, this goes back to training camp. Majority of the plays that we saw him making those big plays in the training camp came off of what? Play action. So if you're not running the ball, then you're taking away the biggest asset that Brandon Cooks provides to this team, and that's his ability to be able to get across the field on play action plays.
So you're saying running the ball, the ground game, is the key to this whole offense, opening things up?
Just saying.
I think Isaiah just solved all our problems. There you go. Love it. All right, with that being said, one of the solvents to some of those problems has been Jake Ferguson this year. He's really taken a step up in the tight end room in his second season in the NFL. Let's go down on the sideline and hear from Nicole Hutchison, who got a chance to sit down with Jake this week.
Well, Kyle, I caught up with Jake Ferguson earlier this week, and he said the reason for his second-year jump goes all the way back to earlier days growing up in a football family. His grandfather was a head coach at the University of Wisconsin. His brother played at Wisconsin, and his father played in Nebraska. And he said that they instilled 3 values in his life growing up. That was how to be a competitor, how to be disciplined, and laying it all on the line. Those are also 3 values he honed in this offseason, and you're seeing it pay off.
I really just focused on choosing one thing each day and trying to get better at it. And then as that started to progress, starting to build a better connection with and Dak, and getting on the same page as him, and really just trying to become that security blanket for him to where, hey, if something goes wrong, you can always look to me.
What were some of the things that the coaches did tell you to really emphasize?
So I think last year one of my big strengths was just the blocking game. And then there'd be here and there a couple passes. Yeah. And then this year it was just, hey, you need to be the complete package. You need to be able to do everything. And I said, okay, let's not just work on my skill work in the offseason. Let's work some actual blocking stuff. So getting with O-linemen, getting with receivers, and just pulling pieces from every different part of people's games, the O-lineman game, receiver game, and just trying to mash it all into one so I can embody that whole thing as one.
Mike McCarthy also said that you changed your body. How much have you seen the difference in your body changing, and how different do you feel now at this point of the season than you did last year at this point?
I still haven't had a chip since 4th of July.
Yeah.
I gave up desserts, which I'm a big dessert guy. Like a big dessert guy, like Oreos had a choke hold on me for a long time. Put a fork in the middle of them, and you dip them in the milk so your hands don't get wet. But yeah, just focusing on the bad weight and trying to get that off because I've always been around 250.
Right now, you're top 10 in the league as a type. I'm sorry, it's okay. We're going.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. But I mean, this is a team that really, I guess you can say, put in the words of put a gamble on you. You're so young, coming in, being tight end number 1, right? Was it challenging for you having to step up in a guy's shoes like Dalton Schultz, who was a vet, right? But that room is so young.
You could probably put it in the challenge category, but sort of just embracing it.
Yeah.
And, it's less of I need to fill these shoes and more of, hey, how can I help my team win? How can I help this team win?
Mm-hmm.
How can I, not just be good, but be great?
Yeah.
And I'm not really looking at anybody else's numbers or anything, or even my own. I'm just kind of, trying to make plays when my number's called.
Nicole doing a great job. You can catch all of 1st and 10 with Jake Ferguson on DallasCowboys.com. Here's a look at what he's done here in 2023, 32 receptions. He has those 3 touchdowns. And Nate, when you look at what Jake Ferguson has done, like you said, you have Fergie to get the job done from a pass catcher standpoint. The tight end position is in good shape if he continues to play the way he has.
And on top of that, my friend Kyle, he can catch, he can block, he's scrappy, he's from Wisconsin. You give me any tight end from Iowa, Wisconsin, I'm rocking with those kids. Fergie, do your thing, baby. Do your thing. I got him about 85 passes, about 6 touchdowns, about 1,000 yards.
Ooh.
Yeah, this the new Kittle, baby. The Cowboys own him. Yeah. Step it out like that. Isaiah, what you think?
Listen, I'm not jumping out the cake like that. I got all my clothes on. But listen, Jake Ferguson is one heck of a player, and we all know that Dak Prescott loves a great tight end. That is his security blanket, especially in the West Coast offense where you're only getting a 3-step drop or you're catching and releasing out of the gun. He's going to be Johnny on the spot a lot of times, especially versus man coverage. He can win against a safety all day long.
Yeah, you're 100% right. When you talk about being a security blanket for Dak Prescott, we saw that for years with Dalton Schultz out there. And I thought, man, what are we going to do with the tight end position now that Schultz is gone? Ferg has stepped right in there and basically filled those shoes outstandingly. He's becoming that security blanket for Dak Prescott week in and week out. He's consistent, and that's what I love most about him.
Man, that's the consistency that really this offense needs, and he continues to be the security blanket, but I think he's much more than that. I'm not going to go George Kittle yet. I don't know if I'll go that far out there, but I do like what Nate's saying because he can be a more impactful player from that standpoint on this offense, and you've seen that throughout the 2023 season. By the way, we, of course, are rolling out here at the AT&T East Plaza. Cowboys Nation has showed out in great force today, and of course the Cowboys showing out with their bicentennial helmet. There's the red stripe for Veterans Day. There's some of our Cowboys fans. Wave at the screen, everybody.
Yeah.
Chain gang, I see you.
Yeah. Wow.
This is a great crowd. It's a phenomenal day. It feels great out here. Dak Prescott ready to roll. Can they get Tony Pollard rolling the same way that he hasn't been throughout the season? Tony Pollard hasn't been that home run threat. Barry, can he get back to that today?
He's got to. And at this point, I don't care if it's Tony Pollard or Rico Dowell, but somebody has got to get this ground game going in the right direction. Like I mentioned earlier in this broadcast, you've got to have a more balanced approach when you're going against those playoff caliber teams. When you talk about Dak Prescott just putting it all on his shoulders, being the offense out there, you'll get away with it in games like this against the New York Giants, but you won't get away with it against the San Franciscos of the world, the Philadelphia Eagles of the world. So they've got to figure out a way to get this ground game going, and I believe it starts with Tony Pollard this afternoon.
You franchise tag Tony Pollard because he's one of your 3 biggest playmakers on this offense. You also gave Tony Pollard 2 touchdowns in week 1. He hasn't had any touchdowns since week 1. This is your 9th game. You cannot continue running business like this. You saw the stat line right there, 42 yards per game on average. He has to be a more integral part of this offense if you want to be more explosive and you want to continue to utilize your weapons like Brandon Cooks. Get the man the rock. Let him do what he do. He's a big play waiting to happen.
And 2 plays you can do, man, is give him the swing passes out of the backfield, and you can give him a little bit more draw plays. Just say you put that thing up, Dak, and sit there and tuck it in the stomach, and let him pick a hole, because if our guys are struggling up front, we got to give them an opportunity to do something. And by doing a draw play, it looks like a pass. Once a guy takes off, you take him where he's going, pick up your game the same way as a passing play, and I think Tony can pick his way through there. And Rico Dowdle.
Ooh, don't get too far ahead.
Man.
Don't get too far ahead. I'm going right back to you, Nate. How does Rico Dowdle fit into this offense?
Slam him up in the middle. He runs angry. Let Biotis, let your two guards know, hey, man, we going up in here, boy. We going out, just buckle up, and let's just get physical. If you're going to do that right there, don't run Tony up in there. Tony is a guy that likes the outside edges. He likes to get one-on-one with a linebacker out in the open. Let Rico take that beating, baby. He's ready. He's hungry. Come on.
Rico Dowdle has done nothing but have positive plays when he's been in the game. Anytime they give him the rock, he's always falling forward. I don't care if there's 2 guys on him, 3 guys on his back. He's carrying those guys like a JanSport backpack. He has to continue to get more opportunities, and when he has more opportunities, he's going to free up Tony Pollard to be that splash back. That's what he is. I know they gave him an opportunity to be the lead back, but in reality, we're finding out that you're a splash back. That's perfectly fine, but let's make sure we play to his strengths.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. When it comes to Rico Dowdle, he's got to be that role that Zeke was last year. He's got to be that tenderizer. He's got to be that 3 yards in a cloud of dust for the defense. So when the guys come up to tackle Pollard, they're sitting there thinking, oh, man, it's going to be another slow, let me go up in there, power tackle him. No, here comes Tony Pollard bouncing on the outside. We've got to get that tenderizer, that thunder lightning combination that they had last year. That's when you get the most out of Tony Pollard. That's when you get those home run plays. So that's what this offense and this running game has got to get back to.
So as we make this transition, I want our Cowboys fans behind us to back us up on this a little bit. So on the count of 3, we're going to start talking about Saquon Barkley. I want to hear some boos. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Let's take a look at Saquon Barkley and what they've done in terms of the Giants this year. All right, boo. There it is. Saquon Barkley has still been as dangerous as anyone out of the backfield. Barry, you faced Saquon a couple times. How tough is it to go up against the back like that?
He's one of the toughest backs in the National Football League. When you talk about a guy that can receive the ball, can run the ball in between the tackles, can bounce it out as well, he's tough. He's a 5-tool player when it comes to about that running back position. But when you talk about the Giants offensively right now, it's Saquon Barkley or bust. There's no Darren Waller. There's no Daniel Jones, no Tyrod Taylor out there. So if I'm the Dallas Cowboys defensively, you got to stack the box, and you got to force the New York Giants to be one-dimensional. Just rely on DeVito's arm to be productive out there. If they do that, they should have no problem destroying the New York Giants this afternoon.
They haven't had an issue with him in the past. I don't foresee them having an issue with him going forward because the lack of weapons that they have offensively right now. The reality is they are going to force feed him. They're not committed to him beyond this year. They don't really care much about what's going on. This offense is in shambles, that team's in shambles, but he has gotten the ball 97 times over the last 4 games. That leads the NFL. Last game he had, 35 touches? They are going to feed this man. They do not care if they lose by 40. He's going to get the ball 30 times.
The first 2 years in the league, we thought this guy was injury-riddled. The last 4 games, this guy's proved me that he's anything but injury-riddled. He is a tough guy that can explode. Don't give him that run early. Take him out in the first quarter. And Tommy DeVito, we will see you.
Micah Parsons thinking about that as well. He's thinking about the task at hand for this defense and a chance to maybe pin their ears back and just play the run, get after Tommy DeVito, make things tough on this Giants offense. Let's hear from Micah Parsons and his mindset going into this matchup earlier in the week.
Yeah, never just trying to overlook an opponent. We see where that got us this year, so, just staying grounded. Like I said, coming off a rough loss, this game has a lot more importance to it, especially a divisional game.
You guys are 11-game home winning streak. You going back to 2021, I think you haven't lost 2 games in a row. What's been the key for you guys? Number 1, playing so well at home, and number 2, not having consecutive losses?
Yeah, one, it starts with having the best fans in the world. Cowboy Nation shows up every time, so shouts to them, extra motivation right there. And then 2, just learning from your mistakes, determined and hungry to get back after it, getting our hands back onto another team to redeem ourselves. So that's what we're looking forward to this weekend.
What did you learn from Sunday's loss?
We learned that, that we just got to clear up our mistakes, that we got to get better, continue to get better, because it's the little things that's going to be the difference in this December run of heat of good teams and teams that we're going for the rest of the year and including playoffs. So We got to fix these little things so we could get over our heads of these good, better teams.
Micah Parsons leading the NFL in pressures. 50 quarterback pressures this season, tied for the most in the entire league. He's been fantastic. Isaiah, when you look at what Micah Parsons brings to the table, is he just continuing to get better throughout his career?
I believe so, and I believe he's starting to mature more as well. I think he's understanding that he doesn't have to be the man to make the play every single time, and that he can at times be the decoy to free up some of his other guys. D-Law, Osi Adigizua, all these guys are starting to really start to play off of what Micah Parsons is doing. And then when the offense starts worrying about the other guys, then all of a sudden Dan Quinn sets it up so that good old Micah Parsons has his one-on-one matches with the center or the right tackle.
You know, I'm so glad that you mentioned that. This guy's maturing right before our eyes, but the key to what is happening here is how Mike McCarthy is trying to still maintain offensive advantage in the time of possession. As long as the Cowboys are playing 31 minutes, around 31, 32 minutes, this kid's going to grow. And that means late in the season, his pace won't drop off.
Yeah, when you look at it, Micah Parsons has gotten better each and every year, and he's matured each and every year. He realizes that not every down I have to rush the quarterback. Sometimes I got to play the run as well, and I think that's what he gets from DeMarcus Lawrence out there, one of the best run defenders there are. And as you see from his game, he's not only just coming off the edge, harassing quarterbacks out there, but he's getting a lot of tackle for losses out there, and that's exactly what this defense needs going forward. Micah Parsons opens up everything up for everyone else, the Odighizuwas of the world, the Marcus Lawrence of the world. He creates one-on-ones for those guys, and he's becoming the ultimate team player out there, but he's still the young lion. He's going to hunt these quarterbacks to the best of his ability.
And you know it helps out the secondary as well. You always loved the great pass rush. When you played it back in Saxonville, you had DeMarcus Ware up in front. It always helps to have a guy like that. And it's helped out this cornerback room in replacement of Trayvon Diggs as well. What have you seen, Barry, when it comes to these two guys? DaRon Bland, Stephon Gilmore, of course, the pick sixes have been a big storyline for Bland this year. But outside of that, how have they done filling in for Trayvon Diggs since that injury?
Well, first I'm going to start with Stephon Gilmore, because I thought at the beginning of the season he might have lost a step. But what he has lost, he's gained in football intelligence. When you look at it, this guy is all over the route tree, no matter who's going out there for him. And DaRon Bland, I can't say enough about this guy. The transition from inside corner to outside corner is not an easy one at all, but he's made it look that much easier, still getting interceptions, still being able to take the ball to the end zone. So to me, DaRon Bland has stepped up in a huge way, and I believe this Dallas Cowboys team has found a star in the young cornerback.
Yeah, they definitely found a star. He has been flawless, even going back to his rookie season last year where he had to step up for Jay Lou. Jay Lou went out, he stepped in, obviously became a demand, getting 5 interceptions and being a very dependable resource there. Now, all of a sudden, Trayvon Diggs goes out, he steps in, he continues to make plays from the outside position, as you just mentioned, how difficult that is. These guys are reliable. These guys are smart. These are guys that are willing to get up there and be physical and go up and come up and make tackles in the running game as well, and that all plays part in terms of this defense being successful.
I like it that they brought Gilmore in. Not only is he a great player on the field, but he's in the locker room. He's in the boardroom helping these guys when they study film. That is what, and Al Harris has done a tremendous job with this adversity of losing Diggs. He's put guys in position to win. He's gotten Jay Lou playing at a fair high clip, and as he gets past his injury, his foot, he would get better. Hey, great job, man.
Yeah, credit to the front office in bringing in both of these guys. DaRon Bland, of course, a late-round draft pick. He's still come in and made a huge impact. And then Stephon Gilmore, a lot of teams might have written him off. Like Barry said, there might have been a lost step there, but they still brought him in, and he's definitely made an impact throughout his first season in Dallas. Speaking of the front office, let's go check in down on the sidelines at AT&T Stadium, where Nick Eatman catches up with Cowboys COO Stephen Jones.
Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate that. You're having a lot of fun out there on the plaza. We're inside here getting ready to go. I got Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer. Cowboys taking on the Giants, and you had a big win, obviously, week 1 against them. They're a familiar foe. You expected a tougher battle, though, in this case. So the NFL, you say it all the time, they get paid, too.
Absolutely, and this is an NFC East battle. You can throw out all the records. You throw out all the point spreads, anything you want to go look at. Anytime you play the Giants in the NFC, you know it's going to be a battle. And, I know they got a lot of pride over there. They lost their quarterback, a tough deal. As we all know, anyone who's been in this league, you lose your quarterback, tough. But sure, they'll come out swinging, and we'll have our hands full here today.
I was looking at the pregame warm-ups here, seeing the punt returners, the kick returners. Kevontae Turpin not playing in this game. You got different guys replacing him at kick return and punt return, and then also a receiver. Just talk about the value that Turpin has brought, and then what you expect from the guys behind him today.
Well, he's been dynamic and electric, and certainly hold your breath every time he catches the ball and comes out of the end zone with it on a kickoff or returns a punt. He's one of the best in the business, so he'll be missed. Your biggest problem we've got guys who've done well at it, whether it's CD or Tony Pollard, but they're also integral parts of our offense. So you got to balance that. But as you said, we're going to have some guys doing some different things, whether it's a Deuce Vaughn or Rico. All those guys are sure going to be able to contribute and help us today. But Wanye Thomas is another one who's done a good job for us. So hopefully one of those guys will get out there and make a big play for us. But hopefully Turpin will be back next week as well.
You mentioned CD, not wanting to get him out there, of course, and as a punt returner, he's been so dynamic as a receiver. Speak to that if you can, just how he's the last 2 or 3 weeks just kind of taking this game to another level.
Well, I know our fans know this. He held his hand up about 3 weeks ago, and he's a team player all the way, but he said, "Get me the ball," and he said, "Watch what happens," and that's what we've done, and certainly he's produced in a big way for us. The chemistry between him and Dak, I think, is just outstanding. The other great thing it does is people start to focus on him. We've got a lot of other great weapons on the offensive side of the ball, whether it's Cooks, whether it's Ferguson, all those guys all want to touch the ball. Certainly Tolbert stepping up. Michael Gallup made some big plays for us. So we just got to go out there, execute, and make the plays. We've got one of the best in the business in Dak at getting people the ball. So hopefully we'll get started early and often.
All right, sounds good. I know the Cowboys are taking on a new quarterback, Tommy DeVito, on the other side. You know much about him, or is that one of those things that can be a little dangerous when you don't have a lot of tape on him?
Well, I guess he's Italian, DeVito. But anyway, no, we don't have a lot of tape on him. Certainly he earned that job for a reason. I mean, this is a competitive league, and he's had to have done a great job for him. But I know he'll come ready to go. No bigger stage to play on than right here on national TV, in that 3:25 time slot. So I know he'll be prepared. He'll be ready. Same time, I know Dan Quinn's worked hard this week to get a good game plan for our defense.
Sounds like this crowd is getting ready as well, trying to extend this winning streak here at AT&T Stadium. All right, Stephen, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate that. That's Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer. We'll throw it back to Kyle on the set.
Thank you very much, Nick and Steven. The defense ready to rock here at AT&T Stadium. I see the Rangers shirt there, by the way. I did hear El Bombi is in attendance. Adolis Garcia will be in the crowd tonight. We got a couple world champions. Of course, these Cowboys trying to win their own world championship as they continue this 2023 campaign. Back up with former safety Barry Church. We've got Super Bowl champion Isaiah Stanback. We've got 3-time Super Bowl champion, 6-time Pro Bowler Nate Newton. Give it up for Big Nate, everybody.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Stop with that.
Nate, this is your favorite day of the year because you get to interact with the fans. You get to see Cowboys Nation full-fledged. With that being said, what are you looking for from this team tonight to impress you as we walk out of here on your favorite day of the year?
Just fix some of the problems you've been through, the lack of the run game, getting Cooks, as this guy keep begging for Cooks to be more than a clear out. Get things like that going, man. And I want to see Lewis play. Jay Lewis, I want to see him play a little bit better. Don't blow in assignments. Get you a pick, man. Make your presence felt.
Yeah, I think this is an opportunity to get some of your guys going, get their mojo going. As we talk about Coach McCarthy's mojo moment, let's get some mojo with Tony Pollard. Let's get some mojo with Terence Steele. Let's get some mojo with Brandon Cooks, and let some of these guys go out there and find a way to get established and get into this offense so that you can utilize these guys at the back half of the season.
Yeah, what I want to see from this team is don't play down to the level of the competition. We all understand that the Dallas Cowboys are a more talented team, and they should go out here and get the W. Do not play down to your competition when it comes to the Giants. Let this team understand that they don't belong on the same field as you. Go out here and get a W and make it a wrap. That's all we need to do. Just get it a wrap and get it over with by halftime so I can enjoy some meals, all right?
Barry doesn't want the bubble guts tonight. No, none of that tonight. With that being said, how do they get there, Barry? What are your keys to the game?
My keys to the game are they got to be a more disciplined team. We've seen penalties throughout these past couple games hurt the Dallas Cowboys. I want 3 penalties or less to show that discipline because you're going to need it when you go against playoff caliber teams.
Yeah, I think that you have to go out there and just have complete dominance. Obviously, continue to shut down Saquon Barkley. I want to see this defense continue to be a terrorizer for him.
I want to see this right side of the offensive line be what we saw a year ago, just take over games versus the run. If we can get our all-pro guard, Zach Martin, going and our right tackle still going, we will take over this game.
It really will be a fun one if the Cowboys can come out on top and continue their dominance, not only here at AT&T Stadium, but over the New York Giants as a franchise. Come out on top, make it big time. Nate, what's your prediction for the fans at home? You got the rowdy head sitting down here. What's going on?
100 to nothing. I'm 100 to nothing. Come on, man. Miami did it. Miami did it. Come on, man. Miami beat somebody 70 to nothing. We can beat somebody 100. Come on, dog. They are wounded, bro.
Yes.
They are worse than what they was, and we beat them 40 to nothing. Man, tack on the 60.
What do you think, Isaiah? What do you think?
Come on, man.
Hey, I have the Dallas Cowboys dominating this game, but it needs to start early on. I got them winning 46-17.
I'm with y'all on this one. It's going to be a blowout. I'm going to go 45-15. 45-15.
I'm with you.
These dudes did not score the last time.
They didn't even score. You're right.
If they didn't score in week 1, they sure aren't scoring tonight.
Thank you.
There's no way they're scoring tonight.
Okay.
Cowboys by 50. Give them 50 burger.
The line
50
is,
burger.
The line is 17, right?
Oh, they're going to cover.
Yeah,
They're going to cover. They're going to cover. It's going to be
covering
around.
that thing. The crowd is ready for this one. 3:25 kickoff on Fox here from AT&T Stadium. They've been loud outside of AT&T. They're going to be loud inside as well. DeMarcus Lawrence and crew ready to make this one happen. Special thanks to our stadium crew and our crew back at the Star in Frisco for making this happen. Scott Purcell at the head of it all. Caden Gates, Matt Kent, our entire company. For Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, I'm Kyle Yeoman saying so long from AT&T Stadium. We'll see you after the game for Cowboys Game Night and Cowboys OT. Cowboys First Word live from Arlington. Cowboys, Giants coming up at 3:25.